Guys, welcome back to another English class. Today we are going to be looking at writing a short story. Okay, we've been writing creatively for a very long time. We've been writing on different kinds of topics that are not like this one we are going to consider today. After this lesson, you should be able to define a short story. You should be able to identify parts of a short story. You should be able to plan for a story using pictures or using the charts, using the four components of what a short story looks like. Now, a short story is a brief work of fiction where usually the main character faces a conflict that is worked out in the plot of the story. So it's a brief work of fiction where the character faces a conflict. The main character faces a conflict that is worked out in the plot of the story. Okay, so the parts of the short story, we have four parts of a short story. We have the characters, the settings, the problems, and the solution. We have four parts of a short story. We have the characters, we have the settings, we have the problem, we have the solution. Now, the characters in a short story are the people in the story. All the people whose names, whose activities are mentioned in the story are called characters. And then we have animals could also be characters in a short story. Okay, let's look at this picture in this chart, in this slide. We have characters that appear in favorite cartoon, SpongeBob, and we have the pictures of four of them below here. Now, what is the setting? We said the characters are people who appear in a story. In settings, okay, the setting is where and when the story takes place. Please note that the setting is where and when the story takes place. If you look at this picture, you can find a farm. So your story can take place in the farm, and then that will be your setting. Your story can also happen in the forest, that is your setting. Then it can happen long time ago, like in the olden days, or it can happen now. There are some movies that we watch and we see people dressing like ancient times. Okay, so the setting was ancient times, in the olden days. And then we can see movies where you have what we see now, what we see every day. You have a story that you have what you see every day. That is also the setting. So the setting is where it takes place and when it takes place. Where and when it takes place. Okay. The problem. The third part of a short story is the problem. Now, the problem is the situation that the character is facing in the story. The problem is the situation that the character is facing in the story. For instance, a character may be solving a mystery, may be confused about something and wants to get answers to something, and may be trying to solve a mystery. Or the problem may be that the character got into trouble and needs to get out of trouble. The character could get into trouble and needs to get out of trouble. So that's the problem. Whatever situation that is like a conflict, like fight, like uncomfortable situation that the character encounters in your story is the problem. And then the fourth part of the short story is the solution. Now, the solution is how the characters solve their problems. The solution is how the characters solve their problems. And so the character may do the right thing, maybe in a situation where he gets into trouble, and solving that problem will entail him doing the right thing. Another solution could be that the character is faced with a big challenge, and the solution will be facing the fear, not running away from the fear. Okay, so we are going to look at the short story that was developed for this class. And in this story, we have our characters as children, Shazam and Superman. We're going to have our setting Monday morning at school now, okay? That is now, the present time at school. That's where our setting is going to be. Then the problem is going to be that Shazam came to attack the school. And then the solution is that Superman came and defeated Shazam, okay? So let's look at the story. Look at the pictures. You can see children and you can see a teacher standing in their midst rather. So on a cloudy Monday, Mrs. Jane, the teacher, came very early to school and was so excited to see the pupils already in class. It was her birthday and she was planning to have so much fun teaching the kids. Okay, she's the main character. So she was planning to have so much fun teaching the kids. Now, look at the characters. We have Mrs. Jane and we have pupils that are already in school. Suddenly, a fire monster named Shazam came to destroy the school. Children were shouting and scared because Shazam was looking so frightening. Okay, so we also have some characters that we see here, Shazam, and we still see the children mentioned here. Okay, but then Superman came to stop Shazam from destroying the school. He used his powerful punches to destroy the monster Shazam. Superman won. The children and teachers said thank you to Superman for saving them. And that's the end of the story. Okay, quite a simple and short story. We saw our characters, we saw the setting, we saw the problem, and we saw the solution, how it was solved. Okay, so now let's try and answer this question. What is a short story? A short story is a brief work of fiction where usually the main character faces a conflict that is worked out in the plot of the story. Is that true or false? If you said true, you were correct. So the answer is true. A short story is a brief work of fiction where usually the main character faces a conflict that is worked out in the plot of the story. Now, I'd like you to go over these slides again. You are going to find it on Edmodo. You can go over it page by page, slide by slide, or listen to the video again and then plan your short story using the table on the next slide. Okay, and then create pictures and write your story. This is the slide. Put your character, your setting, your problem, your solution. Put it in words and also place pictures to show that you understand this lesson. If you also have a question to ask, please don't forget to type it under the comment section below where this video is posted on Edmodo. Have a beautiful day and enjoy the rest of your classes.